This is the Red Show with me, Josh Everton, Andy Simcox, Alan Smith, and Craig Wood. The Fantastic Four are back. That's what we're called now. I'm going to go for Fantastic Four. We will discuss the summer transfer window that is finally closed, and it seems like a fairly alright one for us, to be fair. So we're going to give us opinions on this summer's window. Talk about the outrageous prices that have been announced for the Carabao Cup third round tie against Manchester United. Home fixture for me though, Al, so I can't moan too much. I don't have the travel price going in for that one, so
it's cheaper fuel than rest of
Barnsley, isn't it? It is. And then we're going to do a quick preview of Bristol Rovers. Let's get stuck into it. So, starting then with the summer transfer window, we'll do a quick overview of sort of all the incomings and all the outgoings that have gone on so far this season, just to provide a little bit of context to it. So, players who've come in, we've got Georgie Gent from Blackburn, Stephen Humphreys, deadline day signing, centre forward. Mark Roberts came in at the beginning of the window alongside Conor Hurrian on free transfers. Davis Keeler-Dunn, someone who we tracked all transfer window and finally brought him in the last hour or two of the transfer window. Kelechi Nwakali, from Portugal came in. Jackson Smith came in from Walsall as goalkeeper. Gabriel Salina came in on loan from Chelsea. Matthew Craig in on loan from Tottenham. And that is just about it for incomings. Outgoings, Callum Style to West Brom for a rumoured £600,000. Herbie Kane left on a free transfer alongside Jordan Williams, Devante Cole, Nicky Cadden and Robbie Cundy. Ollie Shaw also left to Hamilton and Academical. Casper Lapata loaned out to Ross County. Jack Shepherd loaned out to Bradford. Andy Dallas came back from loan and then went straight back out to Barrow in League Two. And that just about sums up our transfer window. So, Andy, where do you sit on this window? Because we gave us sort of a week prior, we gave us thoughts on where we thought we were, and it seems sort of in the final roll of the dice, we almost got it really right, to be honest.
We did up to the last day. It was starting to look a bit iffy. It looked all right in defence. I thought, for me personally, I thought it was fine in defence. I thought it was fine in midfield. You know, adding Craig, I think that's okay. I thought that were okay. Gent, raw, but you know, as a fullback, he'll get the ball across. Hopefully, past the first man, and it has done when he's played. So there's been some good signings there. Connor coming back, Mark Roberts coming back. I like that. You know, I liked him coming back because that adds extra strength, know-how, and experience, and organisation as well at the back. So people aren't looking at each other to tell them how to be organised. He'll take and does take that on. Up front, where we're looking a bit iffy, you know, we got until Friday we got Sam Cosgrove and Max Watters, but we'd also got Jallo to come back, and we'd also got Aidan Marsh, who are, you know, more unknown, and you know, if you want him for promotion, they're backups, but not male. So we've only got really two prominent strikers, and Max hadn't pulled up any tree much before the season started. He's done very well, I think, during the season, you know, so far in the season. And Cosgrove does what he does, but he's injured and not quite sure how long he's out for. He might be back this weekend, he might not be. So we're looking a bit iffy. And we've said all summer, you know, on this show, and everybody else, we've said all summer that what we really need is a striker. I thought we got there with Victor Edverson, but that went all belly up right at the last bit. And as I understand it from him, and he's apologising, it's from his part rather than the club's part. But that was a shame because he looked as though he could be something useful. But I'm really chuffed. Really chuffed that we've got Stephen Humphreys. I've liked Stephen Humphreys for quite a while at Wigan, particularly. He was really good against us when he played for Wigan against us. We couldn't get hold of him whether we were up front or drifted out wide. He was causing us all sorts of trouble. And then of course, Davis Keeler-Dunn, who came in from Mansfield for what sounds like a really good fee. The added bonus, obviously, is that my niece Izzy has sent me a message from all the way from Rhodes in Greece, saying she's not talking to me. So she's writing to me, but she's not talking to me. So that's an added bonus. I don't have to listen to her giving it large to me about Mansfield Town. I said to her, look at the table and start crying. But it could change next week, couldn't it? It can all change. So I'm really chuffed that he's come because The striker position was the difficult one, and in simple terms, we got Wigan's top scorer from last year and Mansfield top scorer from last year. I know that was in League Two, but 22 goals, 10 assists, and for Stephen, 11 goals, Wigan's top scorer. That's what you want. Pity that there weren't another one. Maybe there'll be a free agent. I'm not building up any hopes that there might be, but that looks suddenly in the evening of the last day on Friday, it started to look a lot better. So for me, it's a solid 7.5, maybe even an 8. It'd have gone up even more if we'd have got a final striker to give us that extra, option. But no, I'm perfectly happy all over the pitch. The goalkeeper that's coming on loan, I like him. So we'll see. But I think it's been a pretty good window by the time it closed.
Yeah, definitely was. Al, where do you stand in it? Because obviously it looked a little bit shaky at times, and I think Andy's been greedy there, asking for another striker. You don't need 6. Jallow, Waters, Cosgrove, Keeler Dunn, Stephen Humphreys. So someone's not getting game time out of that 6. Just I think you've been greedy there, asking for another one. Where do you sit with
trying to keep Alan on bench. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'll give credit to Ladden recruitment team. I think they've done good. But everybody will on social media, we're not getting players in, we're not getting this. And as per usual for Barnsley Football Club, it went right down to wire, didn't it? It went right to death to get Keeler done in. So that is tremendous business, to be honest. Didn't think we were getting him. He played against us, didn't he? First game of season. And he looked sharp, good, eager. So looking forward to seeing him. And Stephen Humphreys for a season. We got him on a season contract, 1-year contract. We option for a second. And Lee Phillips messages me to say that he's known him since he was 7. He played in teams with Adam Phillips. And Lee says he's not a bad player. So let's see if we can get best out of him. And then everything else, I think everything just sat into place. And what's for me is Craig. Craig were immense for me. He played really, really well on Saturday and allowed Luca to be more forward. And I think that's the thing for him to sit into midfield and let Luca dictate. And now I think we've got one of the best midfields in League One. So for me, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, another solid score. Craig, where do you sit in it? Because obviously we've gained from what we've lost last season in terms of Jordan Williams, Herbie Kane, Devante Cole. Whilst we've brought all these players in to sort of replace what's gone out, I understand why fans were getting frustrated with the length of time which it took to bring in Keeler Dunn, because obviously that's someone that we've been rumoured with basis since the window opened.
Yeah, I was saying we did a video 2 days before the end of the window, and I was stating a lot of reasons why I wasn't happy with the window. And the main thrust of it is leaving it later yet again to get in what we needed. But I can say that's been alleviated now, because Keeler Dunn was one of the players I really wanted. I mean, he was top 2 of the players I wanted at the beginning of the window. And Humphreys as well. I'm mentioning it as one of my free agent targets that we should have got in through the door straight away. But obviously, he'll have been looking at other options as well. So that delay can't obviously just be laid at Barnsley's door. It could be laid at his as well, because obviously he's going to hope that our championship team comes in. But yeah, I've got to say I'm happy. Like, we lost Herbie Kane, and I thought that was going to be an absolute nightmare to try and replace. But Matthew Craig, I mean, I think he's a better player. Personally, I think he's more consistent, and I think he gives us more options in where we can play him, because he can sit where Herbie Kane couldn't, and he can go forward as well. So. And Wakali as well. I think he's a fantastic central midfielder. Obviously needs to get up to fitness, but I think he's gonna come good eventually. Jordan Williams I mean, his experience was something I was concerned about losing, but then you bring in Aaron Roberts, and it just it don't matter, does it anymore? You know what I mean? Nobody's more experienced, especially at Barnsley, than them two. They are Mr. Barnsley together. So that were another great bit of business. I'm glad that got done straight away. I think they both were eager to come to Barnsley anyway. I know Wrexham were wanting Horahan, so it was nice to get him through. I think Slanina has been a fantastic capture for the club. I think he's definitely a championship goalkeeper all day long. So if we get promoted this season, why can't we have him for another year? Unless a Premier League club wants him. So all in all, I would say it's been, I'd say, a solid 7 to 8. The one thing I would say is probably left wing back, because I'm still a bit iffy whether Josh Earl can do that. He can do it, but can he do it on a consistent week? If Gent gets injured, can he do it on a week in, week out basis? I know we've got Lofthouse and O'Keefe that can play there as well, but I hate not having a natural left footer on the left. I hate not having a natural right footer on the right. So for me, that's the only bit that somebody can have a go at the club for. But other than that, I think it's been a great window, and I think we're stronger than we were last season. All it is now is we need Clarke to get them all to gel together, and the 33 goals possibly we could have added by them two on deadline day could be the difference between promotion and not promotion. Mike on.
I've only been doing this now for a year. Well, I'll remember to unmute myself at some point. Andy, I think a lot has to be said as well in terms of the players we've kept hold of. Luca, Adam Phillips, Mile to a degree as well. Sort of, we've been able to keep a little bit of that core together. Barring the players who are out of contract, we've not lost anyone that we necessarily wanted to build a team around and work with this season. We tied Fabio down to a longer term contract as well, to keep his sort of potential within the club and his opportunities there as well. So it seems like even from the fact of not signing players and just actually retaining those players, we're in a stronger position from last season.
We absolutely are, because those two, Adam and Luca, are quite key players for us. I mean, we said over the weekend, what I did. Luca going forward, it's a new thing. It's usually him that's been sitting there, and it's allowed him to go further forward, and he's looking good going further forward, linking well with others. So for that, I think it looks really good. If our midfield's playing anything like decently, everybody can have an off day. The whole three of them at once can have an off day. But if they're not, as Alan said, I think they're as good, if not better, than anything else in this division. Adam Phillips was immense last week, and I thought Corey O'Keefe played really well on the left hand side. So I'm not as bothered as Craig about the left back, but I understand what he's saying about a natural left footer. I think the players that left, if I'm honest, if I'm personally honest, I'm not that bothered. McAtee was a shame, because I thought he gave us something different at times, but sometimes he didn't look as though he could play football. Most times he couldn't come up with some great goals. I thought that Devante were really poor in the second half of the season. I think he started off on fire, and then I don't know if he'd already decided he were leaving, I'm assuming, so they didn't want to get injured, I don't know. If we're having Matty Craig, not as a direct replacement, I don't suppose, because we moved the midfield round a little bit for Herbie Kane. If he wants to be a Herbie Kane-like, he needs to start passing it back a lot more, squaring and back. He needs to start crabbing it a bit more. He's going forward a bit too quick for me. If he wants to be,
it's too transitional, isn't it?
If he wants to be, it's too quick attacking, don't like. And the only one, and it's only because it's if you were a fullback, Jordan Williams for 6 years were a great servant. I thought he were weak at centre half, the right side of a back three, and I think he's doing something similar currently for Portsmouth. I think they're getting on his back a little bit, which I think is a shame, because a player can't help where he's playing if he gets told to play somewhere. So I'm a bit worried about how we'd replace him. So I wasn't sure about Corey O'Keefe replacing him. But Barry Cotter, he's been under Darrell. He's been a revelation so far. And a few people I know that have watched our games who aren't Barnsley supporters keep saying, "Who's that? Who's that you've got there? The mercurial Bazza." That's what he is. So he's been a breath of fresh air. And I think Josh Earl's starting to come back. He came brilliantly, I thought, and then dropped off as a few did. And I don't know if that's because he's now more confident with a goalkeeper behind him and with experienced centre backs, rather than all looking at each other and trying to cover for each other and not being organised. but he's looking really good again. So hopefully they can keep it up, because it were an outstanding performance last weekend. It were to be truthful. I know they were saying, "Oh, we had 31% of possession," as it turned out in the end. I don't care if their goalkeeper's got ball. Walcott's got ball for all that time. They're not getting anywhere. They're into that
69% possession and they had no shots. So fair.
I did say in the pre-match that they would have majority of the ball. I didn't say it'd be good possession though.
No, it don't matter, does it? If you got possession in your own half near your own goal, we could do that. We saw Swansea used to do that and bore people to death. Well, we didn't get bored to death. What we were doing was going at them and nipping it away. 3-0 first half. 3-0. It could have been 6-0 in first half, and nobody could have complained about it except me. Like, so I think it should have been 6-0. So it's so far, if we can keep that up and start doing it at home. I know we did it a bit against Sheffield United. We can start doing it at home as well as away. Then who knows what's going to happen? But we all know it's a really difficult league this year. It's a lot better than last year. I don't think last year was as bad as people made out, but this year's a very strong league. So time will tell. We'll find out better on Saturday, won't we? Because they're a decent team. I know we're going to come on to that. So I think it's been all right. It's looking all right, and it seems like they're starting to get the message of how Darrell wants them to play, and he's changing formations at different times. Once it didn't work, but other times against Northampton at home didn't work, in my view. But other times it has worked, and if it works more often than it don't work, then you can't really complain that much. We're all human, aren't we? So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Al, speaking of complaining, do you think there's sort of one drawback when you sort of, as Andy's mentioned there, sort of the competitiveness of the league this season? It is a little bit annoying that we've lost the opportunity of having Keeler Dunn, Humphreys, Selena as well for the start of the season, of not having that team ready for the start of the season, where we could have, like, we know this league's going to be tough this season. Stockport have set off like an awesome fire. Wrexham are right up there as well. Even the side from League Two are really making a push for it. Do you think it's going to be annoying when we look back at that sort of Mansfield game where we didn't pick up 3 points and we're just thinking, if we got this side together by then we could have had a real good bash from start of the season?
I don't think so, Josh. I think all teams, if you look at league, everybody's got teething problems. The first month is getting into it, isn't it? So it's still like a pre-season. And you look at league table at the moment, we're 7th, Bristol's 9th, both 1-2, drawn 1, lost 1, 7 points. We've got 3 plus 3 goal difference, and they've got 1. And top of league, Stockport's only on 10, so we're 3 points off top of league. So I won't say that. I think we've done well, and the style of play that he's got us playing, Darrell, is quite good. I mean, impressive on Saturday, whereas one touch football and the pass and move, it was immense. We cut through them. We're like cutting a knife through butter at times. And
a hot knife through butter, Alan Hall.
Hey?
A hot knife through butter.
Well, on it. I mean, to see it, it was brilliant. And I mean, epitomised by winning ball back from a throw-in and then passing to Phillips to put it straight in bottom right-hand corner. And to be there and witness it, it was amazing, and 847 fans there. Credit to our fans on Saturday. Credit to our fans for travelling, getting up early and going all that way and getting back about 10 o'clock at night.
Definitely. Craig, one player that I'm intrigued with who we've signed on deadline day, Stephen Humphreys, only for the sheer fact, put a tweet out and said, let's cause some chaos. That, to me, it looks like a James Norwood replacement.
Yeah, it's definitely an instigator. Didn't Wigan play somebody last season? Humphreys said something to one of their players and it all kicked off.
Bolton when Bolton started losing their head.
Did he celebrate in front of Bolton fans or something? And it all kicked off. Do you know what? I love somebody that's got that bit of grit about them, that little bit of needle. And our fans are loving for it too. I think you need to have that. We've missed it since Norwood was here. Somebody was. Our fans need that sometimes because sometimes at Oakwell it's not the best atmosphere, but a tasty tackle or just shouting to fans, come on, it's enough to get everybody going again, and I think that's what he'll bring. And as soon as it were announced that, I mean, even seeing in rumours that it were coming, I was like, yes, thank God, because I'd seen it were a free transfer, and I thought that is something that could really make a difference. Not only that, but he can play wings as well as Keeler Dunn. So the past few seasons, we've not been able to change to a winged formation.
We've had
so
his
to
hand
speak.
side, haven't we?
Well, we've had Cotter out there at some stages and pushed Cadden up there at some stage last season. But it really does give you more options to open a team up if you can add wide men. Because we could have Cosgrove through middle and then push them too wide. It just gives Clarke more freedom to do what he enjoys doing, which is changing the match to suit us better. I do think that the diamond formation that we're currently rolling with is really helping our midfield. It's getting us best players on the pitch. Every single one of them's on the pitch, and it's allowing us to press better because we've got more bodies in midfield. So I'm just really happy with the way things are going and the football I'm seeing at the minute. And I'm licking my lips thinking about Phillips, Connell, and then Keeler Dunn and Humphreys being able to run in behind. If we played that well with 1.5 strikers, Wade and Marsh and House last game, imagine if we had as new signings in there. It would have been 6-0 at half time, So I don't know. I'm just hoping they gel together quick. I think Keeler Dunn's going to be a bag of energy. He seems like he's really happy to be here as well. I know he's expecting a child and he lives near here, so I think everything just sailed in the right way for him, and us in this transfer window. So yeah, it's all exciting, and I can't wait to get down to Oakwell. I don't know if they'll both. I think Keeler Dunn's probably match fit, but I don't know if Humphreys will be, because obviously he was a free agent, so he's been training on his own at home or whatever. So he might take a few weeks to get match fit.
He's been training with Wigan, I think, and played in a couple of the friendlies.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Season friendlies.
Oh, brilliant then. Well, he'll be back faster then. So yeah. Be nice. I can't wait to see them both at Oakwell, and I'm actually looking forward to a game. We ended last season. I was dreading an home game. I was preferring the away games because we performed better. The fans were louder. I want Oakwell to become a fortress again. I want it to be loud again. We basically had a season off, and I don't like seeing that. So let's get Oakwell nice and loud and get team performing at home again.
Get ready, Josh. Make a note of this, Josh, for when we lose at home to Bristol Rovers and an instant reaction, he starts kicking off.
Well,
only kidding, Craig. Only kidding.
21s have played this afternoon, lost 4-0 to Bristol City. And a couple of lads at game time. Ghent as new midfielder. Is it Carly and Josh at game time this afternoon?
Benson, did you say? Josh Benson. Yeah. Interesting. Good to see Josh Benson.
I'd love to see Josh Benson play well. I really would, but isn't it?
I'd like to see him play 90 minutes.
He reminds me of Jack Wilshere and Tom Cleverley. So much potential, but just can't stay fit.
Tom Cleverley right at Watford. I think he was fair because you're their captain, so he must have been somewhat injury-ish free down at Watford for a period of time. But I get exactly what you mean in terms of the.
It's like Eden Hazard at Real Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah, he just. But the best ability he can have is availability.
That's it.
Quick one, sort of just bouncing around you three here. Just a quick yes/no. Andy, would you say the board have backed Darrell Clarke in this window?
Yeah.
Cool. Al?
And on the amount of money they've spent on Keeler Dunn.
100%. I think they've really given him a chance to show us what he's all about.
Craig?
Yeah. He's getting him experience. He's getting him quality. He's getting him every position he's asked for. So, yeah.
I think the first window, remember that.
And they're not all from lower league like we used to. They've proven in this league. I know. So yeah.
And we've got other players who are 23-year-old. That's a big difference from last season.
But I mean, them two that come in 26-year-old, prime of the careers.
Who's been there, seen it, done it.
100%. Get your thoughts on the summer transfer window in the comments below. What rating would you give it out of 10? Do you think the board have backed Darrell Clarke as well adequately? I think you made a great point there, Craig, sort of the fact Humphries and Keeler Duncan both play out wide, and so they've given options. He's not just been hamstrung into that 3-5-2 formation he wants to play. He's now got the option to play far at the back. We can play wide as well. So make sure you get your comments down in below. We'd love to see what you think, and we'll get involved in some discussion and debates as well. Right, moving forward then onto the somewhat of a debacle of we played so well in the first round to get through, winning on pens. Then we brushed aside Sheffield United, sorry.
That Wednesday, we'll do
Yeah,
both.
we'd have beat both of them.
Sorry, we just got to bring your attention to the fact that Andy's just wetted his whistle, which means he's got a lot to say.
No.
We're going to get a Fanatics rant part 2, esque. And we were rewarded with an away game at Man United, who've decided to charge £42 for an adult ticket for a third round Carabao Cup game against a League One side, which, to be fair, Andy, you'd be expecting to see a couple of fringe players and a lot of 21s, which were played over a week for about 15 quid, I think tickets were.
Well, I know that I'll wind him up. I know Craig has been tweeting a fair bit and putting stuff about comparing and what have you. So I'll not kick off. I'll let Craig kick off a bit. The only thing I'd say is we only had about 5,000 fans for Sheffield United game, so we got about 7,500 tickets for Old Trafford. So presumably we'll be sending 2,500 back.
It's all right. I'll pick up one of them, seeing as I'm basically next door.
One more then.
I'll take one for team and go, I suppose. What do you think to it? Because it feels like a bit of a kick in teeth for it. Because it's going to be a second, third string United side again. So I can't see many at first team being in it because the game's been moved for Europa League anyway.
It is. I think it's extortionate for what it is to go and watch Man United fringe players. I mean, even under 21s beat us, didn't they, at Oakwell? So, I can see the frustration. I can see the anger of our fans. They complained at £17 for Sheffield United at home. So if they complain for Sheffield United at home, what is it, 42 quid? So another £25 on top of what they complained about. Sheer frustration. And I think a lot will vote with their feet and not travel. And that's a shame. Supposed to go to Theatre of Dreams, but it's not a Theatre of Dreams for Barnsley fans, is it?
Not unless you can afford it, Al.
Or if you live next door.
You don't
have to travel. Craig, I'll let you get into the points about the Borough and Chelsea sort of price as well, but it does detract from it a lot because it's a Tuesday night, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Most Barnes fans live in and around Barnsley, so you're looking at hour and a half travel. If you get in public transport, it's near on impossible. So you're looking at about 20 quid in petrol to get across, 10, 15 quid. And then you've got that price for a third round game. It does seem extortionate.
Saying just for me and my daughter to go, we're looking at a round trip without food or drink or anything. You're looking around £120. I mean, it's a Carabao Cup. I mean, the Conference League, the UEFA Conference League is capped for away fans at €20. The Europa League is capped at €30 for away fans. The Champions League, I think that's capped at 50 for euros. I mean, with 3/4 way to a Champions League fixture pricing of a stadium that's breaking down. I mean, what is it? The Theatre of Floods nowadays, or something like that.
I don't know. Old Trafford is falling down.
Yeah, we're going to see a mixed match of Manchester United players, new and old. But you look at it, Barrow, 27 quid to go to Stamford Bridge. It's in London, which is going to hike the price, which should hike the price up even more. I don't get
satanic mill inside.
And then in £13.50 for juveniles and over 65s and that and whatever. There's only those prices, isn't there?
It's pricing a lot of people out because I were going to go just to go and just see the fabulous stadium that I grew up watching one of the best teams dominate European football and English football. And I thought, Theatre of Dreams, take my daughter to go and see it. I'm not paying nearly 100 quid to go and watch that.
It's not
To go see
theatre.
that.
I remember watching a third round FA Cup tie at Old Trafford, Barnsley and Rill on a wet Monday night. And
No,
we
I'm just talking about the nostalgia of it all. When I was a kid watching it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go there. I'm going to show me, and I'm going to show. Look, this is what, she's been to Wembley, so she's seen that, and I've told her any chance to go to a big stadium, we'll go. So you can take a picture while you're in there, to show to all your mates and everything. But I'm not paying over 100 quid to go there. Yeah, it's basically they know they're going to get the money anyway because they're going to get it from all tourists that are going to turn up to watch it. But I just think any loyal Manchester United fans, any loyal Barnsley fans, they're not going to be at the stadium, so it's going to be absolutely dead because there's going to be no singing, no chanting, because nobody's going to pay that amount to watch Carabao Cup third round game on a Tuesday night. It's just not going to happen.
Just have a bit of thought and care for all the Man United fans. Think about their travel costs. So they'll be coming from all over the country to see them. They'll not be living nearby like Josh.
They're not going to come to watch
a long way for them to go.
They're coming to watch the Barnsley, aren't they? They're coming to watch the Barnsley.
I can't wait to hear that reverberating around.
It's just like watching Brazil. Yeah, do they know we've signed some new players now, so we should be all right? Well, we'll have them this time. You watch.
Just you wait for Barry Cotter to last running top stanchion in front of Stretford, and that'll be absolutely magnificent.
And he will be named the Beast of Barnsley.
He will. And it does seem a little bit weird as well, because obviously it's on Sky. So you'd think they'd want to price it competitively based on that, given that you can go and watch it on, you don't need to have Sky Plus, whatever it is now, to watch it on whatever Sky Sports. It's on normal Sky. So you could go to pub necessarily and go and watch it instead.
It's all distasteful for me. They're one of the, irrespective of what we think, that they are one of the best clubs around the world. One of the top clubs around the world that people in really far away places know all about. And it's just, for a club of their stature, it's money grabbing, and they need to stop this money grabbing against their own fans, but against fans of our club from a small ex mining town. They need to stop with this money grabbing stuff. It's pathetic. It's shameful. They need to have a look in the mirror and see what they're looking like.
So I've been talking to some Premier League fans, and they're saying up and down the Premier League, every single stadium is getting quieter and quieter every season because they're starting to price out local people because they know the tourists will just come and pay the money, especially the London clubs, Liverpool, Manchester. I think Liverpool will have a pretty hardcore fan base throughout forever because I think they're brilliant Liverpool fans. But Manchester, I mean, we've seen Manchester City. I don't know how many local fans they've got in their stadium, but I bet it's not many. It's just
the right thing, Craig.
It's just no,
your old club.
no, they're rubbish and all. I mean,
I don't get it. I don't get though, because Premier League's capped at 30 quid for away games. Like, I don't get why there's not some sort of just a standard pricing for Carabao Cup, or especially for.
That's what I thought. I thought it would have been capped. Yeah. But like I said, £27, fair enough, right? You're going to a massive stadium, fair enough. So I think Barrow's pricing is fair. I still think it's expensive because I think 20 is plenty, but 42 quid? Are you having a laugh for a stadium that's falling down to bits that needs painting?
Is it the share for clubs 45% for both clubs and 10% to EFL? What I've seen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, something like that.
If that, I mean,
the cost of putting it on as well, isn't there?
As far as I'm concerned, it's about our fans who travel up and down the country to follow the Reds, and they deserve to be treated better.
100%. Again, get your thoughts down in the comments below about that pricing, because it is something that it's not just a problem that hits us, as Craig's mentioned there. There's Barrow fans, which is going to be a hell of a trek for them to get all the way down from Barrow to Stamford Bridge on a Tuesday night as well. So it's going to be difficult for them just to even travel and get back. So the fact that that's 27 quid and the probably cost of traveling for them as well is going to be extortionate. And yeah, it does seem like something we know it's a problem in the game, but everything else seems like every other cup seems to have some sort of contingency in place.
What makes it
That
worse,
one
though, is like
doesn't.
we're in a cost of living crisis. People ain't got money to throw around. You know, that's what makes it worse. That's what really gets to me, especially because there's fans like who are 60, 70-year-old. They're having to pay to heat their homes, so they can't pay the extra 30 quid to go and see.
We have, haven't we, Andy? We have.
Yeah, but it's true though. I mean, there's people out there. It's them I feel sorry for. You know,
I'm going to
because
double topic, Craig. I'm going to sit at home and watch it on telly, but I'll eat a prawn sandwich while I'm watching it.
The thing with that game as well, coming on Tuesday after the Stevenage away, look at how much we're paying to go to Stevenage, transport to Stevenage. I think £25 on coach for Kate and I to go at East Dean, then there's tickets at Stevenage, your food and that. So you're looking at least probably £100 plus for a Saturday, and then you've got another £100 coming. That's a lot of money after a month to go, 290 minutes of football.
You're a pensioner, Alan. All.
Yes, I'll be outside Old Trafford with my bucket.
Let's just start a GoFundMe just so Al can go away.
Well, ain't Red Oliver sponsoring me because I'm away man.
Oh,
No.
We're
not. No. No chance. Yeah, get your thoughts down in the comments below as well on that, because I think it's a football wide issue, not just a issue that's relating just to Man United and just this game and just something that's going to affect us as well. So get your thoughts down in the comments below as well. Right, moving on then to Saturday's game where we face Bristol Rovers. So looking at the stats pack, manager Matt Taylor been there for, I think, over a year now. He's been there for, I feel like he's been there for a while now. Top scorer, Promise Omachuri on 2. League position 9th, as Al's already mentioned. Form, win, draw, loss, win. Key player, Promise again. And then formation 3-5-2. And key stat 3 of Bristol Rovers, 5 games, including the Bristol Street Motors game, finished 2-0. So that's one there for you who are predicting in the competition, which I'm not trying to sway your prediction, Andy, because I know exactly what you're going to pick, but just a little bit of fact there for you. Andy, how do you feel about this one? Because Bristol Rovers, I remember back when Michael Duff was manager, it seemed like that game away at Bristol Rovers, where it drew 0-0, was almost the one that really started to rock us before Exeter then went and kicked us into touch.
You've named a few players there at Bristol Rovers. They're a decent side. They played well against us both at Oakwell and at their own ground last season. We'll see. It's difficult to tell this early in a season because we don't, like us. They'll have changes. Players coming in, players leaving. Who knows? They've in the league, in the 4 league matches, they've conceded 2 goals in 1 match against away to Stockport. So 3 out of 4 of the games they've not conceded a goal. So that tells you something. And Stockport, as you said earlier, flying. So that's that's a thing that makes me think that they've got should have a pretty strong defence. Of course, they've got Luke Thomas playing for them, which we know when we played down there. He were I'm glad you've got that, Al, because I'm glad you reminded me. Because he were outstanding against us last season at their ground. So I hope that for once he comes back and gets a bit of a road and don't. They've also got the Scott Sinclair. I mean, we talk about, we've signed some old uns. Scott Sinclair, the captain, is about 35, I think. So, but he can still play. He scored against us, last year. He
won a sub last season at their place.
It did.
Pivotal, if I remember.
So though he's knocking on a bit, he's still a good player. And they've also got they've also signed Chris Martin, who's the player my brother hates more than anybody else when he went down, because he kept scoring goals against us and falling down like he'd been shot. But he's got injured. It sounds like, I think he's broken his fibula. So Chris won't be playing. So amazingly for my brother, I told him this, and rather than him say, I'm glad I hate him, he said, "Oh, I don't wish that on anybody. I hope he gets well soon and recovers well," which shocked me, if I'm honest. I didn't expect that from him. So they've got some decent players. They signed a couple of players later, like we have. Signed a couple of players right at the end of the window. They signed Shaq Forward from Watford and loan, and is it I want to say O'Connor? It's O'Donker, I think, from Oxford, so they signed a couple of forwards like we have. So maybe they've thought that they've struggled a little bit, particularly with Chris being injured up front. Although, like you said, promises as looking a decent player. Keep him calm, and I think we should be all right as long as Bazza keeps tracking back on Scott Sinclair, and similarly on the other side, O'Keefe gets in Luke Thomas's pocket. I think it should be all right. It should be a decent game, but we could do it winning in the league at home. We did it against United. We could do it winning in the league. So I'm looking forward to it. It were iffy, weren't it, about whether there going to be enough call-ups for it to be called off, but it's looking pretty clear that it's going to.
How many games left on Saturday in League One? What I've seen, there's a hell of a lot postponed.
Well, for anybody, other clubs that aren't playing, they all need to come to Oakwell, buy some tickets, swell our crowd, and get behind us.
It's everyone bar 2, I think.
Yeah. I'd say it's some more Duff Allen information, because he said it could get called off. Same as when he said we'll sign a striker on that open day.
I was repeating what they said in the box office when I got my Stevenage tickets.
And Liam Kitchen weren't leaving worry.
On the box office,
to a tip out. Don't repeat it.
Called off if there's international call-ups. Well, luckily enough, I think we've got one, Russell for Jamaica, and they've got 2, so it's 3 between us.
Oh well, we've got advantage, and if they're 2 players down,
we're going to win 2-1
then. What is their prediction?
Yeah, it's going to be. I think Andy made a great point there. Sort of, there's a lot of deals that have been done late on in this window, and mainly for us as well. Sort of, we might see Humphrey start, might see Keeler Dunn start. There's a couple of unknowns on our end as well as Bristol Rovers end.
There isn't there, and as I was mentioning about Promise Omicheri, is it? He got a brace against against Cambridge on 31st August, which that were Saturday, wasn't it? They won 2-0. So it's interesting that we've got to be tight. We've got to keep our shape, stick to his game plan as we did on Saturday. And if we can do that, I think we've got a good chance. As I say, we've got to game manage better on the Oakwell turf. Last home game, Northampton, 2-0 up and let them back in. We can't be doing that. We've got to be more resilient. And I think we can be. And I think we're going to see a different Barnsley on Saturday at home.
It will be nice to get a bit more information, Josh, tomorrow, because tomorrow night I'm doing it.
Yes.
Even though we're at home, Charlie Hayne from their podcast got in touch to say, can we do an away end? And I was, he's your mate and all. So
friend of the show.
So I've agreed, because he's a good lad. He's a good lad, Charlie. And although it's a home match for us, I'm hoping, I can do the same to him, give some good information that.
So you're going to be gassing gas tomorrow night, Mr. Simcox?
I'm going to be doing that, yeah. And he can talk. Charlie can talk. Bless him.
Very good person to do a show with.
He is.
Great insight. So make sure you watch that one. That's one of the only times we're going to back your away and to be plugged on here. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
And you used to do it, Josh, and all. It used to be your show.
That's why I'm just jealous, because it's not mine anymore. That's all.
Until you ascended to the top of the monarchy, till you became the king and hosted the main one. And then you gave up foolish things and went for the big one.
Gave up the main prize. Craig, it's going to be an interesting game, sort of, to see, as I mentioned there, how we line up. Are you expecting anybody to necessarily come in? Because when you look at the performance against Crawley, the performance and also result against Crawley, a lot of fans saying almost like the best since we've seen since Stendhal and Val, and back to almost like the season with Michael Duff as well. Like, it was the best that we'd played in sort of so long, that obviously we've now got additional quality and additional depth into the side. Would you expect to see many changes on our end?
Up top, certainly. I would expect to see Keeler Dunn start. I think he started every game for Mansfield, so I don't see why he's not ready. And I don't know. It depends if Waters is injured or not. If he's fine, then I expect to see him start. I expect to see Humphreys come off at bench if he's reasonable fitness level. Saying that, but they've gone through a few changes in their team as well. I was looking earlier, and they've lost the likes of Anthony Evans, the captain last season, Sam Finley's gone. The striker Giovanni Brown's gone as well. But they've also fetched in some good players, and one particular one that I wanted us to go hell for leather for, which was Taylor Moore. They've got him in. So and one I'm surprised you didn't talk about was Luke Thomas. On coming up against him coming back to Oakwell again. So that's going to be interesting. But I have watched their matches, not full, just highlights. But I have noticed that Stockport, they were particularly getting beaten badly by set pieces. So I think that's something that maybe we're going to be pretty good at against them, especially if Big Don's up there again. Fantastic goal he scored in the last game. Yeah, the player five at the back formation when they're defending, but they very much do what we did against Sheffield United, where the right wing back, when he's defending, will be a right wing back. But as soon as they get possession, Luke Thomas then will invert straight away and go into midfield, and then their right centre back then becomes a full back. So it will show up on the team sheet in playing on the right, but when they're attacking, expect to see him through the centre, expect to see Taylor Moore doing the overlap like Dujuvigny does for us when Cotter cuts in. So it's going to be an interesting game, but I am a lot more optimistic this season than I was last because I don't really think we've got a massive weakness in this team at all. Even if say we lose a couple of starting players, I think the depth in our team's overall better than last season. Marsh is starting to put in some performances. He can't quite got the goals there yet, but you can see he's trying, he's running. So whether he gets to start or whether Waters gets to start, I think it'll be one of them two. I think Cosgrove's probably a bit too early for him if he has sustained an injury. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I just want us to play well. I want us to play well. I want us to get into them early, get fans on side, get Oakwell rocking like we know it can do, and I want to see a good home victory. And I think they have been really good defensively, but they've not been great attacking either. So it's a very are they going to come to defend or are they going to come to attack? Either way, I think we've got the beating of them. I think we can offer a lot more than the teams they've played currently this season. I don't know. I've been Stockport a bit hard to judge because you haven't got many games to go off. But I think the teams that they've drawn against, lost against, and won against, I think we've got more than them. So I still expect us to win.
Yeah, just by the way, if you haven't seen Bristol Rovers' second goal against Cambridge yesterday, it's well worth a watch. Have a fantastic ping into box, lovely setup, and absolutely outrageous forward play from Promise. On Match Array.
He's from Fleetwood as well, and we were linked with him.
He's fantastic centre forward play. He pins that defender and spins him and finishes it.
Oh, he does. Yeah, back to goal on it, and then he just does a full 360 and whacks it.
Very good finish. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Right, before we do our predictions, we've got the two little ones on with theirs. So let's see what they're saying.
We've got the guests on the weekend.
You always have gas. George, stop being daft. We're facing Bristol Rovers. What do you think the score's going to be?
I think it'll be 3-0 Barnsley.
I think it'll be 2-0 Barnsley. If you think you're better than predicting than us,
In the comments down below.
You Reds!
Right, Andy, we've got the little ones predictions in. What are you thinking?
I said it's in the stars, isn't it? They've got two players on international duty. We've got one. It's nailed on, isn't it? It's in the stars. 2-1 to Barnsley.
Oh, nice and quick.
In the stars. Trust me.
Nice and quick. You can tell it's nearly 10 o'clock because you're wanting to get off. Al, what about you?
I'm hoping for a third clean sheet in his game. So Adam Phillips isn't 30 anymore. It's Adam Phillips 8 because he's got Herbie Kane's number. So I'm going what's behind me. 3-0 Barnsley.
That confused me so much.
Yeah, it did me.
I thought you were going to say 8-0. Craig, are you going to go as ambitious 8-0?
No, I'm afraid. Because we've unproven up top so far, I'm not sure how they're going to link together. I'll stay conservative with 2-0. I still think it's going to be a clean sheet, though.
Oh, 2 clean sheets. I'm going to go with you, Andy. I'm going to go 2-1.
You know it makes sense, Josh.
I'm going 2-1.
Last year's result 2-1 in January at Oakwell 2-1.
And last time I said 2-1, I got 3 points. So consistent. I'm off for top
winner.
this season. I'm off for top this season.
Get the chicken ordered. You've got a chicken dinner coming, Josh.
Vegan
Get
chicken.
ready.
Vegan
Yeah,
chicken.
I know.
Soya chicken instead
Soya
of me.
chicken.
So you coming. Don't worry about it, Josh. In
Oh,
fact, no, Man United saw us coming, didn't they? They saw you coming.
certainly did at that price.
I can't see me coming, mate. I ain't paying that. I can look all the one.
Right, we have got, I think there's a wealth of content going out this
Hold on.
weekend, isn't there?
I've got it ready. I'll be outside Old Trafford with this. Please, sir.
We're going to
You'll need a
bucket
bigger
than
cup than that. Trust me.
Who
that.
ain't?
42 quid
Especially
in
if you wanted a burger at half time, Al.
Hey, a silly burger. There you go.
Yes, there's a wealth of content going out this weekend, isn't there? There's obviously
Hopefully,
this
yeah.
show's going out, then you got the away end, and there's a
Hopefully.
special women's episode as well.
Well, hopefully it's all. It's been arranged. It should be Tracy and I with hopefully with the women's team manager Jess Ardsley, and one of the players hopefully. So you can watch it. It should just be me and Tracy. But we've arranged it so that
Will be now called a Jeff.
I know. Listen, I've talked to her a few times. She'll start on me, and she'll be right too.
Are we going to say this to her? Unbelievable, Jess.
I don't.
Go on, then. I dare you.
My name's
Jess.
Jess.
Yeah, you need it. Yeah, you've got to get that on.
I've done a Josh and sat behind the dugout for a couple of league matches, and I won't want to direct you what she says to players at me. I won't want that. She makes me chuckle knowing, and my granddaughter Grace, we chuckle and chuckle because she, what's the word I'm looking for? She doesn't hold back.
Passionate.
Absolutely.
Passionate.
She's spot on. And in fact, we'll talk about it tomorrow in the last match, last Sunday, that she, it's fair to say that Cheadle, it was Cheadletown Stingers or Cheadle Stingers. Their bench were noisy, I think it's fair to say, and contested a lot of decisions altogether.
My kind of bench, that.
Boisterous.
Jess turned round, and Jeff didn't know. Jess turned round to him and said, "I'll not say the exact words she used, but do you ever shut up?" She shouted. So it'll be interesting with her. I hope she doesn't swear.
And my kind of manager as well. Just turn around and say that.
Oh, she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant.
So yeah, there's a wealth of content on the horizon this week as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll be back on Saturday. Instant reaction outside the club.
And I think there's a surprise guest coming on Saturday, what I've been told, what he said to me. Joe Beardsall will be making an appearance.
Oh,
God.
We've heard the audience
it.
say, though, they're a bit miss at minute,
Who
Al.
cares?
if anyone
Who
else said
cares?
that, I believe it. But because it's you, Al, I'm dubious.
Last
I'm
season's
dubious.
news, Al. We transferred him out. We got him out, Al. It took us a while, but we got rid. He weren't performing, Al. We got rid.
We had to cash in whilst he had 2 years left on his deal. We had to cash in and get him out.
A lot have got deals.
Have you not? Right, we'll be back on Saturday with instant reaction to the Bristol Rovers game. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, new signings come in, make a massive difference, and we can really start to kick on this season and have a good season. We'll see you later, you Reds.
Kate.
Oh, the sound. I didn't.